What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode where we're going to be talking about Qakbot. Qakbot, aka QBot, aka QuackBot, aka Pinkslipbot, is mostly known as a banking trojan. It's been around since 2007. That's 15 years, just in case you skip doing the math yourself or counting. Qakbot has historically been known to steal financial data from infected systems, as well as being a loader for other malicious payloads like malware, ransomware, etc. But it's also a botnet and a piece of malware. My last episode on InfoStealers was about the raccoon InfoStealer and how it had figured out a way to use existing systems and services. In that case, they leveraged existing Telegram services to have Telegram's own infrastructure act as Raccoon InfoStealer's command and control system. Now, this allowed Raccoon InfoStealer to save on having to build and possibly rebuild their own command and control system if it ever got taken down. Plus, it can leverage the good name of Telegram's networks and systems and IP addresses for their own nefarious activities. Now, in case you missed the episode about the Raccoon InfoStealer and want to watch it, the link is above, it's in the comment section, and at the end of this episode. Today, we're going to talk specifically about Qakbot, which is also an InfoStealer and has all the whiz-bang features of an InfoStealer. The difference between the episode on Raccoon InfoStealer and this episode, and the main thing we're going to talk about today, is with Raccoon InfoStealer, we focused on the command and control server. Today, we are focusing on the delivery method and why this InfoStealer is so successful. Now, I hope you'll watch the full episode, but if not, you can now skip directly to my insights at the end of the episode, right from the timeline below. For the rest of you, let's go through the story together to see what we can learn to protect ourselves and others.
Oh, drat these computers. They're so naughty and so complex. I could pinch them.
The ever-shifting, ever more powerful Qakbot malware is now hijacking email threads to download malicious DLLs that inject password-stealing code into web pages, among other things. The Qakbot botnet is getting more dangerous, sinking its fangs into email threads and injecting malicious modules to pump up the core botnet's powers. Sophos published a deep dive into the botnet, describing how researchers have recently seen it spreading through email thread hijacking, an attack in which the malware operator's malspam replies to ongoing email threads. In a recent campaign, Qakbot has also been sucking up system info, Sophos said. The botnet spreads through email thread hijacking and collects a wide range of profile information from the newly infected machines, including all the configured user accounts and their permissions from that system, installed software, running services, and more. After which, the botnet then downloads the malicious modules. Congratulations, you're doing a great job by wanting to learn about the Qakbot malware. I appreciate your support by watching my episode about it. Now, if you're new to my channel and have not already, please consider subscribing to my channel and smashing the bell to be notified when I upload new episodes where I give you insights into the newest important cybersecurity news stories like this one. With my insights, you can be better prepared to protect your company, your family, and of course yourself against these and other cyber attacks. So hit the subscribe button now and let's continue to learn about this story together. The Qakbot malware code uses weird encryption to cover up the contents of its communications, but Sophos researchers managed to decrypt the malicious modules and to detect the botnet's command and control system to figure out how Qakbot received its marching orders. Qakbot, again aka QBot, aka QuackBot, aka Pinkslipbot, is a banking trojan that was first spotted in the wild 15 years ago, in 2007. Since its toddler days, it's become one of the most prevalent banking trojans found around the world. Though its main purpose is info swiping, for example, ripping off logins, passwords, and more, the malware has picked up a myriad of other nasty little habits. Spying on financial operations, spreading and installing ransomware, keystroke logging, a backdoor functionality, and smooth moves to evade detection, including detecting its environment, self-updating, and crypto-packer updates. It also fights back against being analyzed and debugged by experts or automated tools. Qakbot is a modular, multi-purpose botnet spread by email that has become increasingly popular with attackers as a malware delivery network like TrickBot Nemotet, said Andrew Brandt, principal threat researcher at Sophos. Sophos' deep analysis of Qakbot reveals the capture of detailed victim profile data, the bot's ability to process complex sequences of commands, and a series of payloads to extend the functionality of the core botnet engine. Sophos analyzed a campaign in which the Qakbot botnet inserted malicious messages into existing email threads, messages that included a short sentence and a link to download a zip file containing a malicious Excel spreadsheet. The message also asked the targeted user to enable content to activate the infection chain. Once the botnet infected a target, it scanned them in order to get a detailed profile that it then passed on up to the command and control server. Then, the botnet downloaded at least 3 malicious modules. So, what can we learn? Well, besides the fact that we all just might be doomed! Okay, it's not really that bad. The point of the story is to try to make us aware of this Trojan with nasty little bad habits. So, if you watch the first part, or if you know the story, what can we say we know that it can do? Well, it can steal a wealth of information, including browser cookies, passwords, bank details, system information like the user's information about what accounts exist on that machine. It can also be used as a dropper or delivery system for other Trojans, malware, ransomware, and more nasty little buggers. Oh, and it self-updates. It works as a keylogger and a backdoor. And one last thing is it can evade detection. So, who knows what I'm going to say next? If you guessed I was going to reference my episode on the Daxon malware, you are correct. If you don't know what Daxon is, then head on over to that episode next. The link is in the comment section, it's at the end of the episode, and blah, blah, blah. Now, all that's missing in terms of features in Qakbot is probably a DDoS attack module and maybe a kitchen sink, and then you got yourself a nice little Swiss Army knife info stealer malware botnet doomsday device. If the evasion detection complexity was raised to the level of the Daxon malware, you'd have this botnet Swiss Army knife of malware silently sucking up your data from the machine you're most likely watching my episode on right now, and potentially any other machine in your network. Okay, so we see how dangerous it is, and how dangerous it could be in the near future. So how do we stop it? Well, that needs the human factor to play a key role. First, how does it spread? Well, it spreads via email attachments, or email sent to people. The method that the attackers use to inject said attachment, like in the report from Sophos where they were hijacking email threads and injecting a short piece of text with a link, that method is irrelevant. The core problem of people blindly opening attachments and following on-screen orders like a drone, like enable content or activate macros. Now, we know that all these antivirus solutions that say and plaster they are the greatest and catch everything, they're always fighting with each other to have the newest feature, we know that they really can't catch everything. They'll most likely always be one step behind. Maybe a very small step, but still one step behind, because they have to learn what to block before they can block it. So maybe one thing is forcing truth in advertising? I don't know, question mark? For now, we have to deal or rely on users. Educating users to keep alert and basically not trust any attachment that comes in an email. This means not activating macros or enabling content when opening attachments like Excel, PowerPoint, Word documents, etc., or PDFs. Maybe using VirusTotal to scan attachments before opening, or verifying with the email origin if the attachment is legitimately from them. What I mean with that last one is forward the email back to whoever sent it, call him John, and ask him if he really meant to send you this attachment. You weren't potentially expecting it. Or maybe you flag all files that are sent as some kind of update. If you get an email that says, "Hey Frank, there was a mistake in the last draft, please use this one." Now, you can call that person or message them or forward the email back to them. Don't just hit reply. With a message like, "Hey, tough guy, you really send this?" Of course, depending on your relationship with your email recipient, you might want to make your email message slightly more professional. So, the reason I believe that education is key here is based on the success of this attack. So many emails get through antivirus and spam filters since the latest campaign by QuackBot, which was investigated by Sophos, they are injecting malicious attachments as a thread hijack between two known, most likely whitelisted email addresses that have a legitimate ongoing communication between the recipients. So just to put that in kind of more human terms, you and your coworker have been discussing some topic back and forth, hitting the reply button to each other instead of always clicking on write new email. So that becomes a thread with the history of your discussion below, kind of like a WhatsApp chat or Skype or Teams or whatever service you use, but in email form. So of course, antivirus tools are going to let these hijacked emails through. The more they get through, the more people that can get infected. So it's so successful that the investigation by Sophos noted that malware and ransom gangs are using it as a dropper or distribution method, like TrickBot or Emotet, more and more. That's how we can gauge its success. It has reached a level of being seen as a malware and ransomware delivery system. So it's not just a botnet Swiss Army knife of info-stealing malware features, but it's a delivery system for even more malicious activity on top. So if education around the risks involved with email and attachments in email is not part of your security repertoire, then you are at a heightened risk of having you, your family, your coworkers all falling victim to any number of attacks via a botnet Swiss Army knife of malware or info-stealing malware like Qakbot. With that, I say thanks again for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe if you have not already, and smash the bell if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.